guys, welcome to my channel Code Fleet. This is Vinay. In this video, we're going to be talking about Python data types and variables. What are variables and what are data types, and how do we use them in Python? So let's start with the Jupyter notebook here. Okay, open the terminal and Jupyter Lab. So it's going to be a basic tutorial so that you can get the idea of what is variable and what are data types, so that you can use them in any language. It's not specific for Python. It's kind of a basic thing that you can use in any kind of language, like C++, Java. It doesn't matter which language, you can use it anywhere. So we're going to be talking about six number of data types, and first we are going to talk about data types. So what are those? So first one is string. So as we know what is string, so if you don't know what is string, so let's talk about your name. Let's say your name is something. Consider something. So something is a text, and that text is a string. Okay, your name is not a number, if you know that. So let's take another one is number. So as you all know, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the infinity, it's all a number. The another word concept is a list of something. Like you have something in a row, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you put it in a box, that in a list. So I'll be showing you practical. You will understand better there. So the next one is tuple. It's kind of it's not that important as much as the list is, but we are going to see what it is. The next one is dictionary. It's kind of an interesting thing, and I'll show you practically what it is. You will really get hyped when I see dictionary. Dictionary can do a lot of things. And the last one is boolean. You know what is true and what is false, right? If something is true, it's true, and something is not right, then it's false. So let's make it here, it's a markdown. So remember one thing, that I'm gonna be giving the link down below in the description, so that you can download these notebooks freely without any problem. So you can use them in your code or in your local system. So let's talk about what is string. So we're gonna be saying in practically now. So let's take a variable. Okay, so what is variable? Here comes the variable thing. So what is variable? Let's say something x. So if you want to put any value in x, so how do you do that? You do is equals to, let's say 1. Let's say 1. Okay, it's a simple number 1. So this x is now variable. If you write x here, it's still considered to be the variable, but it's undefined variable if you do not put any value there, and it's going to give you an error there. So if you run this cell here, x is equals to 1, and if you print, for those people who don't know how to print, who don't know the statement of print in the Python, it's kind of simple. You just write print and parentheses, and you put the variable inside, and or something you just want to print. So you just do this. So here comes the 1, because we put our value x is equals to 1. So here we have the 1. So let's take x is equals to some string, and that is hello world. So we are going to use in Python type x. We are going to find out the data type of x. So it's going to return is str, that is string. Okay, so it's giving us string. Okay, so hello world is a string. If it's in the single quotes or double quotes, if you put anything, it doesn't matter anything. If it's a number, if it's a boolean, if it's anything. If you put it in a single quotes or double quotes, it becomes string. So let me tell you one more thing. If you put the variable of here, variable name here, and you after that it's if you put the square brackets, if you know what the index is, it's really great for you. But if you don't know, don't worry. I'm going to explain it right here. So in Python, index starts from 0. Everything you write in here has an index. So this h has an index 0. This e has index 1. This L has 2, and this L has 3, and this has 4. And remember one thing, this space also has index. It's considered, okay. you can just ignore this space and just jump onto this one. Okay, so the next index is this. No, it's totally wrong. So if you take here 0 index, it's going to return you H, and if you take 2, it's going to return you 0, 1, 2, L. Okay, so as I was telling you that we are going to also consider space here. So let's count what we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the space has the index 6. So we are going to print 6. Just remember one thing, we are not going to get everything, because the thing there is just a space, okay? Oh, that's something new. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So that was fifth one, and here's the space. I miscounted that. So it's kind of a interesting thing. I mean, I know it seems a little bit silly just to find out what the index is. I mean, it's fine. If you are going for if you're going to advanced part, it's really going to help you, because you use it, I mean, everywhere. It just you just can't do anything without these things, without slicing those variables, without slicing string numbers, anything. But okay, so what if you want to get everything from index 2 to the last? So what we do is we put 2 here. Okay, we get the second index. If you put this here, what it's going to do? Okay, it means that after second index, we are going to get everything. This means everything. We are going to get everything. Okay, we are getting everything. But if you want to get from second index to fifth index, we just put here 5. Okay. There seem to be a confusion here. If you just count there, what happened is, okay, we took 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 index. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, L, from L, 3, 4, 5, 2 space. Okay, but space is not here, right? Space is not here. We just have L, L, O. So let me tell you one thing here. In Python, if you start with some index, okay, it will consider that index. It's going to consider that index. It will going to return that value of that index that you put at the start. But the last index, that is fifth one here, it's not going to consider that. If you want the if you want it to fifth one here, you just can't put fifth here, because it's going to ignore that one. You will have to put here 6. So that's how you can get the space here. And so you can, as you can see, that here comes our space. I mean, it's kind of a hidden thing that people just get to know after a long time. So let's see what we can do. If let's talk about concatenation. It's kind of a simple topic if you ask me. But let's say we have hello world in X, and if we plus here, concatenation means something to add. Okay, so that you are adding something, and we're adding a hello world. I am here. Okay, so I am here. So you can pause the video and guess what it's going to return, and we're going to get the answer when I'm running the cell. And here it is. Hello world, I am here. So if we just give a space here, hello world, I am here. It's kind of a it's a good thing. I mean, okay, so the next one is number. We're going to talk about number now. So what is a number? As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these all are number. I mean, it's a so basic thing. I just don't need to tell that. So let's take a is equals to 1. Okay, so a is a variable here, and this variable is initialized with the value 1. Okay, you will find a question in the near future that what is declaration and what is initialization. Okay, let me tell you one thing. If you have a value, I mean, I'm talking about other languages, not in Python. I mean, you can't just go and declare a variable without any value. Let's talk about JavaScript here. I don't want you to understand JavaScript. I'm just telling you let a. Okay, so this let thing tell you that you're just taking a variable, you're considering a variable, or declaring a variable. Declaration means that you are just declaring that variable, and you did not have assigned any value to that variable. But if you have any value in that variable, that is a is equals to 1. So this variable has been initialized. Okay, it has been initialized with the value 1. So that is the major difference in the the declaration and the initialization. Okay, so if we check its type A, remember this thing, if you want to check any data type of any variable, so you just type and in parentheses you pass that variable, so it's going to give us int. Okay, so it's integer. But let me ask you, okay, is float and int are really different from any number? Or they are all considered a number, or float is a different thing? Okay, so let us check. So let's say b is equals to 2.2. Okay, so it's initialized. So let's check type b. What it's going to return? You gotta be predicting that. Okay, you should be predicting that. And that what it's going to return, it's going to return decimal. Some of people will say that okay, it's a decimal here, so it's kind of a decimal number, but no, there is no decimal. That decimal is a different thing in the in programming. It's going to return us float. Okay, what is float? Anything that comes after point, this number becomes a float. But if you do not have any point, this number becomes an integer. So let's take 2.2 and it's a float. Okay, so it's a simple thing. You just remember this thing, and in the near future you will understand those things that right now is not that much important. Okay, so the next one is list. So what is list? I didn't tell you in the introduction when I was writing the topic which I am going to cover in the video. So the list is kind of a array. If you know what array is, it's great. If you know, it's okay. I'm going to tell now. Okay, L is equals to square brackets. What this square brackets does is that it initializes an empty list. You have the empty list here now. So okay, you can check here. Type L. What it's going to return? It's going to return us the list. Okay, list. Okay, we have the list here, but it's empty. It's not have any value. If you're going to print it, let's say we are going to print it. Print L. It does not have any value. It's empty. So let's print. Let's initialize a list that has some value. So let's L is equals to. So let me tell you one thing. In list, you can put anything. It's somewhat different in other languages, but in Python, you can put everything. Okay, I'm putting 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the most important thing that you separate each and every value with a comma. If you want to separate a value and you want to give it another value, just separate it with a comma. So it doesn't mean that if you have given it the number, so it's just going to take the numbers. You can put the string itself. So let's give it a code and put here fleet. Okay, it has now become a list. You can also type L. Okay, it's a list. It's still a list when you have given it those values. I have something interesting right now here. Okay, you should be trying it with those other things, with those other variables, with those other methods that you will be learning in the next videos. A question mark and the variable that is a list, and that is L. What will happen when I run this cell? So okay, it gives us that its type is list, string form is 1 2 3 4 5, code fleet, length is 6, docstring, it's kind of a documentation. It is a documentation. Built-in mutable sequence. If no argument is given, the constructor creates a new empty list. That's what we did here. That is L is equals to an empty list. If the argument must be an iterable if specified. Okay. If you know what iterable is, that is to iterate over something. That is 1 2 3 4 5 6. We are iterating those values. That is an iteration. You will learn that in the loops. So let's see what we have next. So we're going to create another list, and no, we can just go with this one. So L0, as I told you in the string part, that you can do this thing with the list too. It's kind of a indexing. So L with the 0 index, what it's going to return is 1, because index in Python starts with 0. So now 1, it's going to return as 2, and now L. Okay, again an important thing. What if you have 10,000 values in a list, and if you want to, I mean, you don't know the how many numbers are there, you don't know the length of that list, and if you want the last value of that list, what you are just going to do is that you just have to put -1, and that will return the last element of the list, and that is fleet, as we have here, fleet. It's kind of an interesting thing if you ask me. I mean, it's so simple to get the last element, and you just don't have to count that anything, and it's amazing. Okay, so let's say that I have this code here and this fleet here, and I want to join them. I mean, as I told you before, there is something called concatenation. You can also do that. I mean, we are going to do that. So let's take, so how can I fetch that code here and that fleet also? So what we are going to use here, that is indexing. Okay, so let's take we can also count here. Okay, let's count for the basics. 1 2 3 4 5, and this is the 5th index. Not 5th index, that is 4th index, because indexing in Python starts from 0. I know you guys will slacking off. Okay, we're going to put a space here. So L, and we just I know that was the last element. We just don't have to count anything. We're putting this here. Okay, and that gives us an error that we okay. That was on the 4th. Man, these variables are such a jerk. Okay, so we have this here called fleet. We just concatenated them. So what if we want to pop something? And if you want to know what a pop is, it's that you are going to pop the last element of the list. It's not that much important, because every time you use it, the last element of the list will be popped out. It doesn't. You just can't control yourself with this method. So let's do this. We have L dot pop. We just have to do dot pop. It's kind of a class that every list has. So you can just pop out this. Okay, so it gives us fleet. That means fleet has been deleted from the list. So let's print the list here. What we are going to get is print L. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 and code, the fleet has been popped out. So it's kind of a simple method. So the next one is okay, so that was the popping thing. So what if you want to insert something at some certain index that you know, okay, I want to insert a value at the 5th index. So let's do this. L has something that is called insert. First you put the index that you want the value in. So let's take, we are going to put the value inside the 0, inside the 1, 2 and 3. So that is 0 1 2. We are going to 2, and that is going to be 5. So okay, so we're going to L, and that is 1 2 5 3 4. Okay, it's a 5 between 2 and 3. It's kind of a simple, you know. You use this, and the value has been inserted between those values. It's kind of a really simple. You can control the entire list with this. So it comes in handy sometimes. So what we're going to next is, okay, let's say that I want to just replace one that has a 0 index. I just want to replace this one. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are just this. Okay, we are going to be using this indexing thing, and we are going L0 is equals to, okay, we are going to put here 0. What it will do, that it will just replace that value that is on the index with 0. Okay, so if we print L, we are going to get 0 2 5 3 4 code. I know it's kind of a simple thing that I'm teaching you this, but I mean, these are the fundamentals. Okay, without these you can't do anything in the future. If you learn them, everything will be easy for you. Okay, so the next one comes is tuple. So what is tuple? The tuple is the one and only thing that is not mutable, that is not editable. Okay, if you define a tuple, if you initialize a tuple, you can change it, you can update it, and you can't do anything with it. You'll just have to use the same value that you have inserted in that tuple. And the tuple can be initialized with those parentheses. Let's take a is equals to parentheses. Okay, now it's a tuple. It's an empty tuple. If we use type a, it's a tuple. It returns us the tuple. Okay. So what we're going to next is we're going to the insert the values. Okay, so a dot, let's see what this does. 2. Okay, it returns an error. Tuple object has no attribute insert. Okay, it does not have insert. So let's use pop. It does not have attribute pop. You know why does it not have any attribute like those? Because it is not editable. Okay, if it's not editable, then there is no meaning having those pop and insert here. So let's do this. 1 2 3 4 5 54 5 anything just that comes on the keyboard. So we have this value. I mean, this a tuple has now been initialized. Those values are there in this tuple, and if you want to do something, you will have to do something with these values. You can't update them, you can delete them, you can modify them. You just can't do anything with that is editable, that comes in editable. Okay, you'll just have to use them. It doesn't matter if you're wasting your time or anything. So then so let's come to the boolean. What is boolean? So boolean is something that is so easy to learn, and that is a is equals to true, and the b is equals to false. Remember one thing, in Python you will have to use first letter as capital, this T and this F, otherwise it will be wrong, because it will return an error because name false is not defined. So you will have to use F. Okay, so if we use type of a, it's going to return us bool. That is short form for boolean. So that is the boolean. So the last one comes is dictionary. Okay, so dictionary is my favorite topic if you ask me. They are so powerful and you can do so many things with them. So let's create an empty list here. Then empty, because we have been doing this with every topic. So let's take a is, if you want to if you want to create a dictionary, you just have to use those square brackets, those curly brackets. Square brackets are used to create a list, and the curly brackets are used to create a dictionary. Okay, so now check type of a, and that is dict, and that is a short form dictionary for dictionary. Okay, so let's create a dictionary. Now I want to tell you an important thing. Just open your eyes and open your ears, guys. It's kind of a real important thing, because dictionary comes with the key and value pair. Anything that you want to insert will be having a key that you will use in the upcoming usage of this dictionary. Then you will get those values. So let's take our one for the syntax for this word one, and let's take hello. Comma, if you want to enter, let's take 2, or let's take here world. Okay, so this is a dictionary. So type of a here gives the dictionary. Okay, so how can we we can just do this, right? You can just there's no indexing like this. Okay, what you use here is key. There's no indexing, but okay, let's do this. We get the hello, because this one is a key. The dictionary works with a key value pair. It's not just some indexing. You just come from anywhere. Just it's a dictionary. Let's do some indexing with this. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. You will have to use a key to access those values. It's kind of a really interesting thing, because this is a simple dictionary. But when you will deal with the big in the advanced part, there will be so many big dictionaries. I have worked with them, and it's kind of interesting if you ask me. So this is all with this. I'm not going to give you this notebook because it's kind of up here, I have another notebook that is so cleaned up, and I'm going to put the link in the description down below. I'm also going it will be a third-party link, so you can download them just directly, but I'll be also putting the link of my GitHub repository, and that have all these notebooks of all the videos that I'll be posting on my channel. So you can just clone them, or you can just you can fork the repository. And I'd recommend forking the repository because it will help me find out that how many people are using my using this, and it would be really great help for me to process any further, so that I'll also be motivated with this. People needs motivation. I have so low motivation. Okay, so thank you so much, and see you in the next video.